What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match preview time. Aston Villa versus Leeds United in the Premier League. Big game. Big game. But listen, we'll get into that in just a second. Before I carry on, please like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, leave your comments down below, and share the video around and hit the notification bell as well, just so you know when I'm going live. Hello to everyone that is currently waiting. Let's have a look. Jamie is saying, God, Somerville and Sinistera out. We have great luck with injuries. Yeah, huge blow. Huge blow. Let's have a look. And Harrison should step up. I mean, that's the general consensus. Yeah, and we'll get to that. We'll absolutely get to that. Me too, T85. Tashan gutted for CRYSENCIO. Yeah. And listen, we'll talk about that in just a second. Obviously, the news came out of nowhere in terms, because, you know, I know he went off injured in that Cardiff game, but man, I didn't know it was going to be a month. Did not know. But listen, before I go on, big shout out to Mr. P and Carl Brown for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated for your donations. Very, very much appreciated. But yeah, let's have a look what people are saying. What's going on? Nathan Palmer, we can't catch a break. Too many breaks, Nathan. Too many. Callum saying, great to catch a live. Yeah, I know. But yeah, listen, not the news that you wanted to hear off the bat. Not the news you wanted to hear off the bat. It's bad, but this is where you've got to hope that other players now step up. Jack Harrison mentioned in the chat here. This is it. You know, we want to see if the competition in the squad has made you better, or are you really just an inconsistent performer? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because the thing with Somerville as well, for me, he's overall been our best attacker. And I know Rodrigo is getting the goals, but just in terms of a direct threat, whether he's creating, whether he's scoring, and it's off the bench, and obviously, you know, in the latter months starting, he's been phenomenal. You know, he's been sensational, I should say. So it is a blow, but now other people have got to step up. And obviously, Ruta, as you know, just to go on that as well, Ruta is taking his medical later and signing his contract later. So there's no rush to get him in, as he won't be eligible for the Villa game. So I don't think they'll rush this one through. But yeah, when he signs, we'll come back on live and talk about that then. Nathan Palmer, big up KG, great content. Shout out to you. Thank you. Barry saying we can afford Somerville being injured if Cine gets back sooner rather than later. Well, Sinistera's not going to be out available for this game either, but he's coming close. But yeah, you know, you want Somerville available for me. He's just so important. Left, right. He's just one threat that we probably can't do without, but we're going to have to, and it's up to other players to step up. Patrick saying, morning, KG from upstate New York. Ah, shout out New York. Let's go, Leeds. Somerville out is a bummer. Bam Bam is back, and we still got Jack. Yeah, Bamford back. He's in the squad if for people that are interested in that. Bamford will be in the squad tomorrow. So, you know, do with that what you will. If he comes on the scores, brilliant, but hey, let's not hold our breath anymore. Kieran, Rafinha, nice replacement for Somerville. You know what's funny? I mentioned Rafinha yesterday because someone asked about Rafinha coming back on loan. I gave my thoughts there, but it was just some of the takes now that I'm seeing on the timeline. It's really, really like poor, and it's from people that I thought had better football knowledge. I saw somebody say about Rafinha, because it's not going so well from him in Barcelona, that he's not being a good player and that he's a flop anyway. And then they compared top of the league Arsenal, Martinelli and Saka almost getting the same goals as Rafinha this season that Rafinha got last season. It's like, what? Rafinha like literally carried Leeds United, who should have been relegated, on his back to safety. Could Martinelli or Saka do that in that quality of team last season? Who knows? But Rafinha did it. I just find it very weird when people do comparisons like that. Very, very strange. Julie saying, hi KG, hope you're well. Yeah, he'll be missed. What's the saying? It never rains, but it pours. Yeah, it's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. But it's from the tackle at Cardiff, and it does make you think though. Obviously, though, I will say, because I've seen a few people ask, why did Somerville play on for so long? But when you're in the game and adrenaline is a huge factor, you can go on a bit longer. If the injury isn't like a break or something like that, you can carry on for a bit. But as you know, he was substituted eventually. So maybe that's why he stayed on so long. But the tackle was bad. And Jesse Marsh alluded to it today in his press conference, saying about Nanto and Somerville that they need more protection from refs. He's not going to speak to them directly, as he hasn't found it helpful, as we've seen with Jesse versus the refs this season. But, you know, he's now put the referees on notice that Nanto and when Somerville gets back will be looked at and saying, well, that's a terrible foul. Where's the cards? Where's the protection? Because you saw in that game against Cardiff, Nanto, and Nanto's been kicked around in plenty of other games. It's even happened against Man City. And there's very little action going for him. But you just know if they were in a top 4 club, if they were a Saka, they would be getting the protection. So Jesse's put it out there. It's in the atmosphere. So we'll see what happens from this day forward. Acton Dave is saying, given Forrester in the semi-finals, I think we missed a good chance against the Carabao Cup against Wolves. We absolutely did, and this is the thing, man. You can always go on the cup run. It doesn't matter where you are in the league. Southampton are bottom right now, but they're in the semi-final in the Carabao Cup, and who knows what they're going to do in that one? You know, I'm assuming 99% of people did not have them beating Manchester City yesterday. So that's what I mean, a cup run. And look what it's done for him. You've seen the Saints fans, they're absolutely bouncing. They're bouncing. And for us to get a cup run one day would be, it would be beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait. But obviously, we could go forward in this one. We beat Cardiff. We've got a favourable 4th round draw. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, cup runs are on the table. Palace last season, new manager, an influx of new players. They got to a FA Cup final, people. It's possible. Dashan saying, love the transfer windows, hard to keep up with the KG content. Yeah. And listen, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the connection, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to put it out there, but the connection seems to be a bit better. If you've noticed, anyone noticed? So hopefully there's a lot more to come, because the connection before was putting me off doing a lot of stuff. But as it's improved, I can come on a bit more often. Good for some, bad for others, I guess. James is saying, why didn't we sub Somerville when he was clearly in pain? Clueless manager, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, he was in pain, but when he's made the choice to come back on, like I say, sometimes adrenaline can take over. And players, it's up to the manager and it's up to the physios as well, because players will always say they can probably carry on, especially in a game like that against Cardiff, where he probably thought he could run some numbers up. So yeah, it's just poor altogether, isn't it? It's not as bad as that one remember when Tyler Roberts was on the pitch and he was on one leg, and Tyler Roberts on 2 legs is bad enough, but on one leg, you know, it's a wrap, isn't it? But he was on the pitch just hobbling around. Remember that one? But yeah, listen, it's done now. He's out for a month, and we just got to wait for his return. Deshaun saying favorable 4th round, history not on side against lower league sides. I know, but we've got to break it at some point. For me, records and stuff like that, bad form is there to be broken. So let's hope we can do it in this cup. I want this cup run, man. Let's have a look. Michael Brown is saying Somerville injury was a blow, as lately Nanto and Somerville have been targeted by rival teams as they gauge status. The aim is to put them off their game and seeing if they react to get them carded. Yeah, and they need to, and the offenders need to be carded more, and that's what Jesse was alluding to today. And obviously the work that Nanto and Somerville do together, their connection is truly amazing. But you saw in the game, Nanto can take the game by himself and do things himself. So we're going to look to him to do that as well. And obviously, when Ruta gets in the building, that's another option that we've got. So all is not lost, but it is a blow. It definitely is a blow. Like we said just briefly there, Bamford is back on the bench. Verba, Jesse Marsh wants to get him integrated as soon as possible. So look to probably see him start against Villa, I would think. And Marsh just saying about the group. Donny is asking when Sidney's back. He's not back for the Villa game, so let's keep an eye out for the next one. As a group, it still hasn't come together in the way I would like. We haven't been able to push it in the way we want, so we don't have to talk about the table, but this is where we are. I feel like we're in a good place and we're poised to have a click or spark. So I mean that's Jesse on the current squad as it is. Uh, yeah, exactly, Jamie. No, let's have a look. Bamford is alive. He is. He is. Let me just quickly. Any other notes? Yeah, I mean, he was asked about the Nanto song. I'm not going to get into that again. I've given my thoughts and opinions on that quite clearly. He just says, "I love how much the fans love Willie. Is there a way to modify it to be as passionate but more respectful?" That's what I would say. So there you go with that. So yeah, um, let's have a look. Yeah, I know, Bubs. We're in a good place. 2-16. I know. I know. I think he's just talking about in regards to the squad, but he's got to say that though, hasn't he, Bubs? He can't come out and say that this group is done. And I mean, he even said though again with one of his veiled kind of things that he says that he believes in the group more than they believe in themselves. And he did mention something like that last year when he came in that a lot of the players, a lot of the group don't believe that they can go into certain games and they can win. That is a mentality issue. But yeah, let's have a look. Harry Burns is saying, "I hate to be moaning all the time. I'm draining myself with it. But can we have some good?" I'm assuming that's news. Please, Leeds. I'm drained. Yeah. Hey, listen. Signings are coming. Just let's see what Ruter does when he comes in. That's going to be another X factor for us. That we got to wait and see what he's going to do. Hopefully, we get in another central midfielder, and for me, that's a pretty good month. An excellent month would be if we could get in another centre back, but that's just being greedy. I understand that's being greedy, but yeah, I think good news is coming. But yeah, I mean, Villa tomorrow is going to be real tough. And you know what it is about Friday games? When you lose, it just sucks for the rest of the weekend, man. I don't like it, man. When you win, you're buzzing. You can watch the rest of the games carefree. You can, you sit back with your feet up, don't matter. But when you lose, it's like, ugh. Yeah, it's mad. Some people saying ownership news is being reported. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that anywhere. I'll just have a quick look now. I mean, I don't see anywhere where that is. If any guys can put me to a credible Leeds source, I'll have a look. Mm, yeah, I don't see anything, man. Okay, let's have a look. Let me just have a look. Oh, okay. Okay, let me just check that. While I'm just checking that, please hit the like on the video. It's free and the best way to support the channel. And obviously, if you're watching replay, please hit the like too. Oh, okay, right. James Marshman, the QSI. So this is what Econ's talking about. You think the QSI takeover has any legs? Sources have revealed. Listen, I don't know about that one. That's not really somewhere I go for news. I'm gonna let more people see if that's got any legs, and then come back to you. Okay. Uh, yeah. Reggie said never said he was credible, worth checking. Yeah. There's just so much stuff, and like I say, unless it's coming from like say 3 or 4 people that I go for news and things like that. I just wait for a bit. I don't really go into it as such. Maybe I should. That would get more content out, I guess. But yes, listen, Villa game tomorrow. What's everyone thinking about that? I don't want to go too long with this one. For me, obviously we need to tighten up defensively. I don't know if it's possible. I honestly don't. And what I don't want tomorrow is for our defense to make someone like Ollie Watkins look potent. There's so many chances that Ollie Watkins missed throughout the season. So many. It would just be something if he comes up against Leeds tomorrow and scores. You know what I mean? It would just be it would just be so on brand for Leeds United. So let me get your thoughts on tomorrow's game. What you want to see? And John is saying a 4-3-3 with Rocket, Adams, and JB in midfield, Nonto, Rodrigo, and Harrison up front. Christian is saying that he thinks Drame should start. Yeah, I honestly would as well. I would give him a start in this Villa game. I think there's no better opportunity. Christensen is just off it. Ailing, it's time to move on. Let's see what Drame can do. Let's see what he can do. Tom is saying Villa have big players out tomorrow, but individual errors constantly worry me. We're always an individual error away from conceding a goal. We know that. We absolutely know that. It's disheartening, isn't it? You're going into games now thinking, I wonder who it is that's going to make the mistake today. We're just due a mistake. That's what happens in every game. Nearly every game. It's just insane, isn't it? Nilo is saying Villa will catch us on the break. The lads may struggle tomorrow offensively and defensively. Oh, yeah. Mark G, I mean, this sounds so simple and I love it, but are they capable? Mark G saying team has to look calm and cohesive. Let's see what they've got. Let's see what they got, because we have not looked calm since the resume of play. For me, we haven't looked calm in any game so far. So, let's have a look. Shane is saying Jesse's starting to get a bit ignorant. Don't like the way he addressed the press with the "Don't ask me about transfers. The fans need him on side." It's not really ignorant, Shane. There's a lot of managers that say the exact same thing. Reporters will still continue to ask regardless, but he's not the only one. I think you find most managers in the league do that. Even when the signing is probably coming in later that day, they'll just say, "Please don't ask me," because as you know, especially with us, Shane, Ruter could come in later, do his medical and fail it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, by the way, people, but that's why managers don't really want to talk about it in case they say anything where they're talking about the player coming in, it doesn't happen. Then you got to go back to the current group and say, well, I didn't really mean it. I love you guys, really. So I don't think it was anything ignorant. I think he's just trying to protect himself and the club. Let's have a look. Yeah, Deshaun, got to keep your cards close to your chest. Absolutely. Absolutely. Andrew, though, is saying maybe give Sonny and Mateo a go. Young talent are showing the way. Yeah, not for me. Not right now, unless you're talking about off the bench, Andrew. I just don't see how you drop Rodrigo in his current goal-scoring form. He's doing the thing that he needs to do with being that point up front, and that is scoring goals. I don't see how you can drop him, in my opinion. But yeah, if you want to give Sonny some time off the bench, why not? Why not? Let's see what he can do. Jamie saying, yep, hard to be positive when most games we have to score 3 to win. And that's what we've got to cut out, Jamie. We can't keep going hammer and tongue. It just doesn't work. I've said on a couple of comments when I've replied to people, I would love a nice routine 2-0 victory. Even 1-0, but 2-0, just a calm 2-0 victory. It seems like that's asking a lot. Seems like it's asking a lot. Nice, D. All right, that's funny. I'll give you that. Connection, great, KG. Obviously, you're now paying your supplier. Tremendous. I'll give you that one. Reggie saying, what I want to know is how have we all of a sudden got much money for Ruter? It was only in the summer we didn't have much for transfers. Reggie, I mean, listen, I think that the 49ers have got something to do with it. I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing. That's just my guess as a fan. And I think 49ers would do that to try and protect their future investment and staying in the Premier League. I think that's vitally important. And also, I think Leeds have always said that if there's money for a special talent, a special asset, if you will, that they've got money to spend. So they obviously feel that this guy is worth it. And obviously, if Unahi is coming in as well, again, that's another one that would be an asset worth purchasing. So I think that there is money there. I'm in the same boat, Reggie. I thought that maybe we were looking at the 10 to 15 million range kind of players, but clearly not. And that's good. That's good. It's good. It's good that as fans, we don't know all this stuff. Because if we know, other clubs know, and then they'll ask for more money for players than they're actually worth. We've seen it many times. Yeah, Jamie, we definitely need another 2 CMs of adequate quality to bring in. Yeah, for me, if we got one, especially with it being January, I'd be more than happy with that, Jamie, because I think that JB can come in here and there. But if you've got Adams, Rucker, and then another to start before him, I think you're laughing for the rest of this season. I think you're laughing. Uh, yeah, Napa, George Graham style wins a few nice 1-0s. Yeah, yeah. Let me just okay, we're 20 minutes in. Can I get your score predictions? And people that are watching replay, please put your score predictions in the comments below. Yeah, I guess I've got to give mine too, right? Can't get away with that. So for me, I, God, mm. Byron Reuter is coming in this evening. Apparently, I think it's this evening he's coming in to do his medical and sign the contract. Reggie's saying 3-2 Leeds. Okay, Tommy's saying 3-1 to Villa. Shane is also going with a Villa win, 3-2. There's a lot of goals in your predictions. I love it. Uh, Gil is 2-2. Wakisan is 2-2. Man, a lot of Desmonds here, man. Jamie Dodger, tremendous. 3-2 Leeds. Danny saying 3-1 to Villa, sorry to say. Deshaun, 3-2. El Gil thinks we're going to get a clean sheet. Lovely. Oh, speaking of clean sheet, he also mentioned about Melier as well, being more of a leader in the team, and just improving aspects of his game, like a quarterback as in American football. And it's something that I've said a few times this season when it's happening that he want he obviously said as well, Melier is one of our higher assets at the club. Take of that what you will, because I know a lot of people think Melier is being sold to fund these deals too. I know that's another theory. But Melier, I've said it a few times this season that if Melier is to get to the top, and that's where he wants to go, you know, Larissa's now retired from France international football, but you've got Magnan at AC Milan, who could probably be the number one. There's other options, so he's got to be at the very best. And he has to improve certain aspects of his game, and that's what Jesse wants him to do. And I've mentioned a few times this season when we've been on topping games for like 15, 20 minutes, and then the ball goes down our end of the pitch and the first shot goes in. Not always his fault, Melier's fault. It is the paper thin defense, but he has to make that first save. That's what top clubs look for. They look for somebody who can hold their concentration and make that first save, even though you haven't had anything to do. That's what top goalkeepers do through time. Schmeichel, Petr Cech, think about, more modern now, Allison, Buffon back in the day. That's what top keepers do. They do nothing for most of the game, and then they make the saves when needed. And I think that's what Jesse was alluding to. And Melier's got plenty of time to improve that, by the way. Plenty of time. Tobes Leroy is saying a 0-0. How dry would that be for Friday night TV game? That would be so dry. Yeah, I still haven't given my my one, have I? I'll just say this. I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go with, like Martin Peters here. I think it's going to possibly 1-1, maybe 2-2, but I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to lock that one in. I think a point at Villa Park wouldn't be the end of the world. Obviously, 3 would be sensational, and please, Leeds United, get that. But I think 1-1 will probably be the score. That's my prediction. But a win would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, 23 minutes. Yeah, I think that's it now, people. I think that's going to be it for the preview. I don't think I've missed anything. Let me just double check, because when I miss something and I've ended the stream, very frustrating, I will say. Oh yes, of course. Before I end, people, just something outside of Leeds United. I don't know if you've seen Macclesfield Town. They've let their football player Tom Clare have extended leave. What reason do you think that is for, people? Let me know. For the people in the live chat, give you 10 seconds. What do you think Tom Clare has had extended leave for? So he's taken leave from the team and they're all right with it. Anything? Jamie Dodger is saying, are you doing a KG post-match show? I will be here after the game versus Villa tomorrow. Absolutely. So please join me there. And James, man said Bird got pregnant. Easy. Nah, not for that. It is, though, for pretty similar. James has got it. Love Island. And Love Island is returning. Now, long-term subscribers of mine will know during this period, you will probably not see me after 9 o'clock live, I'm afraid. So just giving you that public service announcement now. 9 o'clock on evenings, I probably won't be here. All right. It's absolutely Love Island, Deshaun. Modern football has taken it to the next step. Because if you remember last season, a football player, a semi-pro footballer, went on Love Island without his club's permission, and I think they sacked him. He's actually put in the request, and they've said it could be brilliant for his career. So we understand we're letting him go. Now, obviously, people, that's not going to happen with a with a Premier League player. Premier League players got no reason to go on Love Island, and the club would not let it happen anyway. But in the semi-league, it's going to happen, isn't it? And Macclesfield have said yes. I mean, I can just imagine being a Macclesfield fan and going to the game and going, wow, we've lost a player to Love Island. That is one wild conversation. Oh, man. But yeah. So listen, oh, man, I think, whoa, my subscriber count's going down. Where you guys going? Where you going? But no, listen, obviously, if there's any kind of breaking news after 9 o'clock, then I'll be on after the show ends. All right, man. So stay awake. All right. Oh, man. Nick Gill says, Absolute Tribe TV, KG, enjoy that. Hey, listen, you got different TV for different moods. You know, if you don't have to watch Big Sky, you don't listen. Emily in Paris, another great show. Sometimes you got to go for some like little reality TV. It's just the way it is sometimes. I don't make the rules. But listen, people, I'm going to leave it there. And for everyone that has unsubscribed, just quickly press the subscribe button back. You know, my football knowledge is still top tier. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's exactly it, Gil. Gotta have some form of escapism. Absolutely. So, people, I'll be back tomorrow after the game. I don't think that the signing will be complete, so I don't think I'll be back later. But obviously, if it is complete today of Ruta, I'll be back later and we can talk about that. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow after the Villa game. Let's go, Leeds. Thank you all for joining me, and hit the like.